So there are a few takeaways from our discussion that I'd like to sum up at this point. Contact tracing sounds like could be implemented in controlled ways that would limit how bad actors might use our information against us. It would still require an incredible amount of trust from public authorities or in public authorities to ensure that we can be confident that our safety now and in the future is preserved. But it's still, the situation that has opened a lot of opportunities for cyber criminals, as we just discussed. So given all of this, what would be, as an expert in technology and online safety and security, what would be your advice for tech companies, but also companies using tech as a focus in the next few months and also the next several years?
I think that there are a variety of different things that companies are going to be doing differently and already are starting to do differently as a result of sheltering in place and increased remote working in particular. So they're thinking about how to protect their employees against a wider array of scams and security threats than they were thinking about before. So now, if you can get into somebody's home device through either phishing attacks or through phone-based scams, then that can threaten corporate resources. And so that's something that they're trying to educate their workforces about. In fact, COVID-19 scams in particular are so great that they've now become the most common form of scam that we experience online. So you look at phishing attacks and you look at email spam in general, and the majority of email spam that's being sent right now is actually COVID-19 related. It's a variety of different scams ranging from fake miracle cures to donation scams to cyber criminals who are claiming to be able to expedite stimulus checks. And all of these are used to prey on people's fears and increase the likelihood that they're going to fall victim to that particular scam, which in many cases may take over their computer. There are more than 10,000, and by some estimates, maybe more than 100,000 domain names that have been registered that are associated with COVID-19, many of which are fraudulent and designed to be able to propagate these types of scams. So there's a great deal of activity which is occurring from the cyber criminal side of things. But the other thing is that we are transforming into a society that is getting much better at using technology to be able to communicate with one another. So using video conferencing to be productive on a meeting is a skill set that companies are developing that they didn't have just 6 months ago. And you look in a corporate environment, 6 to 12 months ago, and you'd have various folks that might have been working remotely, but the vast majority of people in most companies were going into the office, or they were doing something in a physical environment in order to be productive. And now so much of that has shifted into working remotely, but still needing to be productive. So now everybody knows how to use Zoom. Everybody knows how to use video conferencing and other remote working technologies, but not everyone is necessarily good at it. So companies are thinking about, how do we pick the right technology? How do we educate our workforce on how to be able to use it most effectively? And how do we actually turn something that we've been forced to use into not only a competitive advantage, but something that's going to be an assumption in the future that many people in the coming months and years are going to end up preferring the option of working from home. And this is something that many HR groups are studying right now. How exactly is the corporate workforce going to be transformed, and how are companies going to be transformed? And so if you've got that assumption as part of how your company operates, then of course, thinking about those remote working technologies and thinking about how to be able to structure your business processes so they can actually function extremely well using those technologies, that's going to be critically important. And so I think that we're going to see an acceleration of many trends which were already underway prior to COVID-19 in the coming months. And who knows, we'll probably see an acceleration of VR-based technologies and AR-based technologies, because these allow us to be able to do more in a remote and virtualized capacity than we would be able to do otherwise.